Okay, Texas is just one of 7 states without a personal income tax, and this November, voters will get a chance to permanently ban a future state income tax. Is that true? David Gonzalez verifies.
As we get closer to Election Day, there is still some confusion as to what people are really voting for under Proposition 4. Viewer Patricia sent us this flyer asking us to verify the language behind the proposition. The flyer says to vote yes to an amendment to the state's constitution would actually ban state taxes from being imposed, and then voting no means you're in favor of a state income tax. To verify it, we turn to the Texas office of the Secretary of State. The office says by voting no, the language to amend the state's constitution would not be added. It does not mean Texas residents would start paying a state income tax. It just means there would be no ban. So we can verify by voting yes, you are supporting the amendment to ban the state income tax. Voting no does not mean a tax would automatically go into effect. With your Verify, I'm David Gonzalez.
Thank you, David. If you see something you want us to verify, it's easy. Just reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter. You can also email it to us. The address is verify@khou.com.